Hi, everyone. My name is Tahara, the budget coach. And so I have my girlie here with me today, Letitia Watson. And
Everyone, I am here. I am the owner of Celestial Designs and the creator of the Goals and Gold game. And we are here to really talk about what it's like here in life and on our journey.
yeah. And so today we're talking specifically about what it means to be happy. What it means to be happy in romantic relationships. Now, before the video even started, we already said it was going to be a little bit of a challenge to speak through, what it really means. Not necessarily because we're not happy, but just to make sure that we have the right words to articulate our true feelings, right? Because I want to make sure that I get it right. Be able to convey how I really feel. So that's where we are today. We're talking about what it means to be happy in romantic relationships. All right, Tisha, you want to start us off?
I don't know if I can. I totally have the same sentiment, like what it means to be happy in romantic relationships is definitely a challenge to articulate. And I think it's probably because I don't know if we ask and answer that question enough in our personal and social relationships or even with our partners to be able to say we have this practiced explanation. So I think it's really a challenge, right? So if I had to take a stab at it, what does it mean to be happy in relationships? For me, what it would be like those relationship goals. It's less about what you see on the surface and more about internally how you and your partner feel about the partnership. And I even want to say it's less about your true selves and more about who you are and how you serve each other in the romantic partnership. Now, after I said all of that about the romance, right? And really being it, what does it mean for you guys to be happy in that? And I think it's coming to an agreement, like coming to agreement with these are the things that make me happy in our relationship, right? It may not be true in any other area in my life, but when we're dealing with each other, two things that we can do to serve each other, and maybe the service is what it means to be happy in a romantic relationship for me, is that I am serving and also being served in a way that makes me feel content and that makes me feel safe and that makes me feel loved.
Yeah, I
I
think
think that's overall.
yeah, that's good. Listen, that sounds good to me. But I have a question.
Mhm.
Have you ever been able to get a true answer about what makes you happy in a specific relationship? So if you ask, let's say your romantic partner, what makes you happy in this relationship, or what can I do to make you happy at this moment in time? Because it's probably going to change. I know for me, my needs change throughout wherever, whatever, even it change throughout the day, throughout the month, throughout the year, right? So I may need one thing on one day and something different on another day, but how do I go about conveying that? And do you see that your partner actually tells you or relays that information to you?
No. So I don't see the relaying. And that's where I think it's hard, not only for us as women, but also for men to really tap into what is it that makes me happy? What is it that would serve me? What is it that would make my life better, lighter, and more content? So no, I don't feel like I get that answer
It's
or
hard. It's
question
hard to get that
answered.
answer. Yeah.
Yes.
It's
I
just
don't
like,
feel
so
like I get that
what do
question.
I need? What do I need to do to, make you happy? It's that I never get a real response.
No, I don't
It's
get that
hard.
and if I do, maybe it is that I do get the answer, but the answer that I get is not always the answer. I'm like, that ain't true.
Or maybe
That
the
ain't true.
answers that we get aren't like the ways that we want to serve or fulfill
Yes.
that need. So that could be it too. Maybe you're telling me, and maybe I'm just like putting my fingers in my ear because I don't want to do that for you in that moment.
I'm rejecting. Like, that ain't true. That ain't gonna like long term. Like that is some self-satisfied sabotage over there. That is not gonna make you feel happy or love.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I think that I'm able to convey what I need in that moment. But again, I think that my needs change so frequently. So if you're giving me what I need in one moment, it's not what I need in the next, and then maybe my feelings toward the relationship changes. So
Yeah.
I can own that. And I can also own the fact that I don't always hear accurately what is needed. So if I don't hear what's needed, then maybe I don't give it the way that it should be given all the time.
Yeah.
So for me, I guess it's just making sure that I'm listening, and that I'm not being so needy or changing up every moment.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel in that moment. So I don't know.
I think maybe what it makes me think of is happiness is always also like it really associated and tied with like communication and active listening, right? Because I'm certainly going to own up to if I do hear what makes my partner happy, I'm like, I don't know if that's true or not. So I
Right.
need to own that. You're
Right.
not listening if you're processing through your own filter about what you think is going to make that person happy. But
yeah, maybe it's not about us to like really try to filter it.
Yeah,
It's just up to us to just do it based on what they say.
Yeah, I
right?
agree.
And then even still, if it's not what they need, and then you're gonna be like, well, what you said was.
Like,
Yeah.
So I agree. But I think maybe, and I think the same thing with like our needs, because my needs change, right? Like at one point, I'm like, I need to be going out and I need to be there. And now I'm like, I don't want to go nowhere.
Right.
Like that's not it. So if you make a recommendation, I'm like, I don't really want to do that. And
Right.
now you're like trying to figure out like how is it that I now meet your needs if you don't want to do this? And this is what you told me before.
Exactly.
So it's definitely like up to us to be like, how do we keep this constant stream of communication about our happiness, about what's happening in this romantic relationship in order to actually keep it alive?
Yeah. And I hear it all the time. You have to make yourself happy first. You have to make yourself happy first. And I do agree with that to an extent. But if I'm in a relationship, then you need to make me happy too. Because what's the point of the relationship if we're not here to serve or support one another? Then the relationship is not needed. So yes, I agree with I need to be in a calm, content space where I am happy with me, but you need to be also be making me happy too, because what's the point?
Absolutely.
I
absolutely agree. And then I may even, and I get the word happy, and I probably have all of these alternative ideas, but I might even say, how do I experience joy in this relationship? If we want to get away from the idea of just saying the word happy, right? Because nobody, I think with people who are into this whole, you have to make yourself happy, is they're saying nobody else can make you happy. You're fine, but somebody else can help me to experience joy. If you don't want to say anybody else can be happy, another person who can work this journey with me.
Exactly.
Together we could figure out ways to experience joy. In a romantic way.
I agree with that. We're helping each other out. If we're in a partnership, we're helping each other out.
Yeah.
You're supporting me. On days that I'm feeling down, maybe you can lift me up. On days that I'm not able to completely let's say serve myself or do everything myself, you are in support of me and you're helping me and you're helping. You know what I mean? Yeah. And those are all different ways to be happy. So be happy. You talked about joy. I talked about helping build each other up. I talked about helping to serve, support one another. Like, I do believe that you have to complement one another. In the area where I'm not strong at right now, you need to be strong, and vice versa. Because that's the only way that I can see value in what you're bringing to me. You know what I mean? Because if I have to be 100% for myself, then I don't need you. If I'm 50%, then I need you to make up that other 50% in whatever area or aspect it is, right? A lot of people, stay in these marriages for money, right? If there's one partner who's 25%, then maybe that other partner is 75%. They're helping each other, because maybe that person who's 75% can't do the 100%, and that 25% is all that is needed in that moment. If I am, let's say I'm building this business, right? And you have the administrative skills and I have the technical skills to actually run the business. We complement each other. We help each other. We serve each other, right? Because again, if I was 100%, then I don't need you. If you're 100%, you don't need me. And I think that you have to figure out where that balance is or where the need lies. Where am I weak and you can support me? Where are you weak and I can support you? And not only know where it is, but actually provide the help and provide the assistance. Because if not, again, what are we here for?
Wonder who we serving. I think I like what you were saying. Like, it's not just always a 50-50 split, right? We all
No.
hear like, hey, I give him 50, you give him 50. Well, sometimes it's not gonna be. It's gonna
Mhm.
be 60-30, it's gonna be 75
Yup.
25. And listen, sometimes we might not always make it to 100, but as long as there's some complementary
Yeah.
support going on, then we certainly can make
I
sense.
like that. Sometimes we won't always make it to 100. You're right.
Mhm.
You're right. Because maybe we don't have all the skills, quote unquote, to pay the bills in that specific area.
Mhm.
But if I'm 20% and you 60, we 80 in that moment. We're not 100 yet, but I got more with you and you got more with me than we had separately.
Yeah, and I think just recognizing as long as those things are shifting, right? Because I think you can get to a point where you're unhappy in a romantic relationship where you feel like I'm constantly doing more and I'm being underserved, right?
Yes.
And I think there is this fluctuation or at least an acknowledgement of you may be doing more in this area, but recognize that I'm also doing
Doing
this.
more in this area. Right.
As long as
Yeah.
we're complementing each other.
Yeah, as long as we listen, and I think that's a theme, and I think that's where we can end it. As long as we are complimenting this, and that sounds good to me. We compliment each other. You support me in the areas where I'm weak, and I support you in the areas where you are weak, and that's how we move through this life together, right? So, listen, YouTube, we hope that you've enjoyed this video on what does it mean to be happy in romantic relationships, and we are coming out with more videos like this, so we would appreciate for you to comment below on the types of videos that you would like us to present to you. Yeah, we want to bring you the types of things that you want to see. Again, my name is Tahara, the budget coach, and on my channel, we are on a journey to financial freedom. And I have my friend here.
Hi, everyone. So Letitia, from the owner of Celestial Designs and the creator of the Goals and Gold Game. And I will also see you on Instagram and YouTube. Have a good night.